All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. We're talking about the Detroit Lions in tonight's video. I want to talk about some stuff that's just kind of flying under the radar with the Detroit Lions. As we know, 12-win team, won the NFC North, game away, quarter away really from making the Super Bowl. They went through day 2 of training camp earlier today and just going off day 1, going off of day 2, there's a ton of things I'm extremely excited about, and a lot of it's just flying under the radar. Two things off the top of my head right now: the running back room, Jahmyr Gibbs, David Montgomery, and then you got the defensive back room with a bunch of new faces. Still an extremely young group, but the addition of Carlton Davis, in my opinion, is going to be huge. One thing I'm huge on with the Detroit Lions right now is they are relatively healthy. We'll talk about that in just a couple of minutes, but before we do, hit that like button, hit that sub button for daily NFL content. We post at least 3 to 4 Lions videos every single week. So Lions fans, you guys show massive love every time I cover you guys. I appreciate it so much. If you're trying to get this video to 200 likes, that would seriously mean the absolute world to me. One thing that I found really interesting, and this was just a random freaking tweet that I saw earlier today, is how drama-free the Detroit Lions team is. So they brought in Hulk Hogan today. Dan Campbell brought in Hulk Hogan to get this team juiced up, to get them all excited, to get them all hyped before camp or during practice. The 49ers coach Kyle Shanahan today told reporters that Pro Bowl left tackle Trent Williams is not practicing for contract reasons as he joins Brandon Ayuk among San Francisco players waiting for a raise. This is, and I saw this from Dave Burkett, such a drama-free football team. It's just such a drama-free football team. You listen to like an NFL great, you listen to an NFL coach, player, management guy, doesn't matter. They'll all tell you the same thing. In fact, they'll tell you the same thing across every single sport in all of sports. If you guys hate each other, if your group hates each other, there's a sliver of resentment, whether it's player and player, player and coach and coach, etc., your team's not winning at all. Just end it here because your team's not winning at all. If you guys all hate each other, if there's some ambiguity in there, just throw in the towel because you're not winning at all. The Detroit Lions are the complete opposite of that. And it's something I just really respect and I really love about the Detroit Lions football program is they're just so drama-free. And in today's day and age, 2024, it's just kind of like this lost art, not being the freaking drama queen. So that's it for that. Jake Bates, brand new kicker. The hype apparently is legit. He went 6 for 6 at practice today, including a 52 and 50-yard field goal. The Lions may have found their future kicker. The only thing I'll say is, it is day 2 of camp, and we need to see some reps at least in preseason before you throw in the towel with Badgley. Jameson Williams continues to make impressive strides. Dan Campbell said this about J-Mo throwing up. As long as he keeps making those plays, he can throw up all he wants. That's really all I have there with training camp. There's 2 things I want to talk about: the running back room and the defensive back room. Really quickly, I saw yesterday, like we just said, there were 8 players on the PUP/NFI list to open up camp. 7 of them were cleared yesterday. The only guy still on that list is DJ Reader. He was actually working off the side of the field with trainers today. The Lions don't want to rush him back. Brian Branch and Marcus Davenport participated through walkthroughs, and I am so relieved because Marcus Davenport had a high ankle sprain back in 2023, in October of 2023. The fact that he wasn't at camp yesterday really concerned me, or he wasn't participating in camp really concerned me, but hopefully that was just... can't think of the word here, but hopefully they're just playing it safe. That was the word I was looking for. Just for some background, James Houston played in a football game 4 months after a high ankle injury. He also fractured a fibula. So, yeah, that was just something because October was like almost a year away. So running back room, Jahmyr Gibbs is dealing with a soft tissue injury back in the spring. So the Lions have been working him back slowly, rightfully so. But one interesting tidbit from today in practice was that he was working with the wide receivers in drills. So he was going through route simulations. He was receiving one-on-one instruction from Ben Johnson, the offensive coordinator, who was appearing to instruct him on the technical nuances of his route running. So then after practice, Jahmyr Gibbs, along with several other running backs, spent time with Amon-Ra St. Brown for additional route running instructions. This is something I got from PrideOfDetroit.com from Eric. I actually have it here, Eric Schlitt. I love this because you have David Montgomery, who only played actually in 14 games last season, but was still a 1,000-yard rusher, and he had 13 touchdowns. The receiving game was a big hit for David Montgomery. Obviously, that was more of Jahmyr Gibbs' skill set. David Montgomery heading into this year was good for at least 300 receiving yards a season. This past year with Detroit, his first year with Detroit, only 16 catches for 117 yards. And the reason is because of Jahmyr Gibbs. David Montgomery was this huge, bruiser, first and second down kind of guy, move the chains, get it done in the red zone. And then you had Jahmyr Gibbs, who had 945 rushing yards and 10 touchdowns, which is also flying under the radar. The Detroit Lions were a 2,000 rushing yard team, but also the fact that he had 52 freaking catches for 316 yards. So he only averaged a little over 6 yards per catch. But we know with a player like Jahmyr Gibbs, even if he's, like the second and third down back behind David Montgomery, even if it's technically a, split running back room, you want to keep both guys healthy. That's just kind of the way the NFL has transpired in the last couple of years, rightfully so. Running backs, tenures in the NFL is just notably shorter than other positional groups. So I'm really excited to get Jahmyr Gibbs going in the running back room because he's a 1,000-yard rusher and he's easily going to be a 500 receiving yard guy. Jahmyr Gibbs had a phenomenal rookie season. I just want to give him a little bit more praise. Brian Branch is another guy who's working himself back from injury, but they're really interested to see what he can do at the safety position. And this gets me really excited because when you talk about defensive backs, they're like wide receivers. They get banged up all the time, and you want to play it safe, so you'll let them sit for a game or two. So I look at the defensive back room. Carlton Davis, cornerback one. The issue I have is he hasn't played in more than 14 games at any point in his NFL career. The good news is last year, 12 games, 13 games the year before. Injuries are just something that happens with defensive backs, so you want as much depth as possible. I have concerns with Emmanuel Moseley just because of his health. He's played in 17 games in the last 3 years. That's just a brutal statistic. He's been in the NFL for 6 years. He's only had 1-2 seasons where he's been pretty much fully healthy. And then you brought in Amik Robertson, who's been as reliable as they possibly come. He's played in every single game the last 2 years for the Las Vegas Raiders. I still have Kirby Joseph, who's a very healthy guy. And then I bring in Terrion Arnold. So the point I'm trying to get at, and we're running out of time here, is defensive backs get injured all the time. And the Lions just did not have the depth last year at that group, whether it was cornerback or safety. So hearing that we're going to get Brian Branch moving a little bit more in the safety room gets me really excited because you have Kirby Joseph, you have Malafon, who is your starting safeties, but then you now have a cornerback room that's just multifaceted with Carlton Davis, Terrion Arnold, Ennis Rakestraw, Brian Branch, Amik Robertson, Emmanuel Moseley. So the tide's completely shifted with the defensive back room, and it just has me very excited because it's been a huge issue for the Detroit Lions in the last 2 seasons. Thank you guys for watching. Hit that like button, hit that sub button, but let me know down below which defensive back member are you most excited about for this upcoming season. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you tomorrow. Peace.